So, should I call you Tyler or John?
Oh, you can call me either. I go by Tyler though.
Okay,
That's
either.
my name.
Okay, Tyler.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Call
joining me, and thank you for starting up the waiting room.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty much the role I'm gonna fill. Anytime I do a night stream, because there's like this 3 hour gap between when the other limited streamers go offline and you come online. So that's when my pop up streams will probably be just they're to hold the torch.
Okay, I'm not going to start my streams at 6 a.m. just to bridge that gap. So 9 a.m. is still early for me. All right.
I totally understand.
So thank you for joining me, and hopefully you will help me with this draft. Although right now you are what, number 7, master
Yeah,
drafter.
7.
Okay.
I'm doing all right.
Okay. So let's see who is above you right now.
IP Longo overtook me today,
Yeah, he's at
but
5. Uh, the AI called Cosimo is number 3, and
he is yeah
oh,
he's
oh
he's
wait,
a urban legend.
who is that at number 1?
Yeah, I know. You're actually being quite bold to even draft right now. I figured you were just going to play constructed tonight.
I'm not bold. Wait, am,
You-
am I going
Let's
bold?
call it
What?
fearless.
Could you check this area? Am I going monk? No. Okay. So yeah,
Bold.
I still very much enjoy co-op drafting ever since I done it for the first time almost 2 years ago with Gibbon++. That was an amazing experience, and I try to do it from time to time. On Monday, I had a guest star called Gunner116. You might have heard about him.
Oh, yeah, a little kind of familiar.
Sounds kind of familiar.
The
I
the
think he,
master of the preview drafts,
I think he
the
even
absolute
subscribed to
dominator.
you near the end of your stream.
He did.
Haha!
Shout out Gunner, a
Shout out
blessing.
Gunner. All right, so help me talk through this draft and deck building, and we will be on our way, on our merry
Sure,
way.
sure.
Pack one. Tell me your initial thoughts.
First two. So the first thing I see here is the From Below. I think that's what that card's called.
From Beyond.
From Beyond. That stands out as the most powerful card instantly. And
Mm-hmm.
then this only second thing that my eyes look to is Apprentice Mage.
Mm-hmm.
And on second glance, I see Blair Haze Worm.
Mm-hmm. Hired the
The
gun.
hired gun is decent, but it isn't something I would usually go for, not
Mm-hmm.
knowing where I'm going with the drafts.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't something that I would start for, but it would be a happy open and say, if I was Stone Scar, it would
Mm-hmm.
be definitely be a happy open in pack 4, but in pack 1, I don't look towards it so much. So
Mm-hmm.
for me in this pack, I would either be going towards Mave or Apprentice Mage pretty much every time.
Okay. Two general questions before we pick up From Beyond, or rather, Maeve Walker of Eons.
Hmm?
Do personal preferences for color combination choices play a huge role for you in this draft format? Like, do you try to go for a specific color combination?
Yeah, I'm biased, I would say, at least towards avoiding certain color combinations.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's unavoidable. Like if you're just forced, an archetype is just so open, you can't look away.
Mm-hmm.
You'll play that archetype regardless of what it is. Like
Yeah, sure.
that's the best strategy is to play the most open thing at the table. But yeah, I have a personal preference and bias towards aggro strategies,
Mm-hmm.
aggressive strategies, proactive strategies in general. So
Wait, which
if
ones?
just general aggro strategies. So
Okay.
Stone Scar,
Okay.
Rakano.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of people saying that Rakano is not their favorite or doesn't work for them. But for me, Rakano is very successful most of the time
Okay.
because that's closer aligned with my like limited play style. I like to find aggressive strategies.
Mm-hmm. All right, getting back to that. So I said if you're going alongside personal preferences, what are your personal preferences would be my second question, and you already said Rakano and Stone Scar, but what faction combinations do you try to avoid, if any?
I would say things that don't do well for me in this format is I would say Praxis doesn't do so well for me
Mm-hmm.
and Combre as well.
Mm-hmm.
Though On stream earlier, I did have a 6-3 Combray deck, so I would say it's a success.
Mm-hmm.
But Praxis doesn't do well for me. I don't know. Since I've been streaming, I keep going into factions that I usually wouldn't. I would just kind of avoid, and sometimes they flop. But I've found success in several things, like Skycrag. I had a
Mm-hmm.
strong Skycrag draft the other night, and it was the first Skycrag draft for me of all the whole format that's been
Oh,
successful.
okay. Okay.
I would say I avoid Combray, but that
Mm-hmm.
being said, we're picking a Combray card here to start.
Yeah. Well, technically it's a shadow card. Anyway,
True.
speaking of my personal preferences, I, for example, try to avoid Elysian, because Elysian, in my opinion, I usually get a lot of cards that want to drive me into Elysian, but that color combination doesn't have many synergies for me. I mean, it does have some flyers and some fatties on the ground, but aside from that, it is more miss than hit. And personal preference is what I go towards. I have found a lot of success with Skycrag actually, but you have
Yeah.
to be in a very aggressive mindset. So Skycrag and Stone Scar, so those fire based. Rakano not so much. Praxis
Mm-hmm.
I have no problems with, but you need some decent removal. Even
Right.
if
Yeah.
those are only dark fires, they have been working much better than I initially rated them.
Oh, sure.
And honestly, I tend to go into Combray, like dive right in, because I seem to be getting a lot of time and a lot of justice cards in some of the drafts as well. What I would like is to draft a nice Feln deck with a lot of advantage from the revenge spells, mainly False Demise.
Oh,
So yeah.
I can second that because I
Mm-hmm.
know that Found is good, but it also doesn't work for me very often.
Mm-hmm.
I agree though, but those are the two kind of. I guess could have went further with that. There is. I like to draft value decks like Found as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't usually. I usually go for like a long game value deck, which is the uncommon deck that I go for, but I do sometimes play it or aggro. But I mean, not as so much mid range decks, but that almost sounds silly to say because in limited, effectively every deck is a mid range deck. But if you were to separate them into aggro, mid range, and like value oriented long game decks,
Mm-hmm.
I tend to not be in the middle. I like to figure out if I'm drafting the latter or the aggro.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But Fallon is interesting because I also don't make it work, but I know that it can be good. I assume you just need more card draw. And if you don't get the card draw, it probably doesn't work.
And honestly, all of that summed up means that the format isn't really solved in any way. I mean, there are better cards, there are worse cards, but there is not a single winning combination. You just need to see which colors are open for you and choose the correct strategy, right?
Certainly, yeah. I think this is a very healthy format.
Yeah, as
I
far
still have fun with it after maybe somewhere upwards of 100 drafts. I'm not sure, but I've done a lot of drafts and I still like the format.
I mean, the curated packs fell way, way, way down after they did the zero point 0.5 switch over of the weights of cards in packs 2 and 3. But
Certainly.
and they are still better than the curated packs in set 6 drafts in the Dark Frontier ones, where you were hopeful, for example, to pick a 2-drop such as a Pyre Adept.
Oh,
But
that was a
yeah.
little bit before my time, but it
Mhm.
sounds rough.
Yeah, it was really full of cards without text boxes, so to say.
Mhm.
All right, last question, just a
Sure.
last theoretical one. How, maybe another way, at which point of a draft do you commit to your first color, second color, third color, etc.?
Well, I think I've found with the Eternal, it's something that is good to look for is to try to focus a singular color in the first pack, since the signals aren't the same in pack 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's never that simple, but sometimes I will like let's say I have a strong first 3 picks and like a focused color. Maybe for the rest of the pack, I may pick slightly if I'm convinced I'm that color, if
Mm-hmm.
my first three picks are I am that color, I may pick slightly suboptimal picks to stay aligned with that color,
Mm-hmm.
to stay focused. That way, then I hope that in the hopes that in pack 2 and 3, I find my second color and don't have to flip flop, like 10
Mm-hmm.
times.
Unless there's a
That's the
bomb in
goal.
another color coming your way.
Yeah, that's how it goes. It's obviously it's never that simple. You know how
Mm-hmm.
drafting goes. Sometimes you're one color for 3 picks, then you're a new color for the next 4 picks, and then you see the rare, and then that rare dries up, and then it comes back again, and you're a mess. But that's the
And you're
ideal.
crying and the cat is scratching at you and wait, what? Where were we? But what happens if we pick a Combray card in the first one? So this is not a shadow card. This is a Combray card, and I already clicked on it because it's just way, way better. And we are playing this for Maeve, not for From Beyond. So let's be clear about that. So if you pick a card with 3/3 or 4/2 requirements, like a legendary that is actually good, like Marley or Roland or something like that, what then? You need to see if these two colors are open, both of them, or one of them on a higher emphasis, the second one even in a slightly lower emphasis. But picking such a card a bit more drives it for me a bit more towards those two specific colors. So when I look at this pack, I think more about Chainwhip Bludgeoner than False Demise or Forbidden Research or Darkfire, for example.
Yeah, so, I feel like when you choose a multi-faction color like this card, like Maeve for your first pick,
Mm-hmm.
you have to just hope that it works.
Mm-hmm.
But you still have to watch the signals. So you can't be so committal to it. You can't be dead set on it. You have to be willing. When you pick a firm 2-color card like this, or say some random legendary, you have to be willing to think that might be a card you're throwing away. You have to be willing to be like, maybe you'll throw your first pick away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is very
So
important. Learning to
there's
throw
a
your
lot of
first pick
times
away.
where I will pick a weaker card pack 1. I mean, not always, but sometimes I'll pick a weaker card pack 1 if it is still powerful but flexible, opposed to picking the powerful 2-faction card.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm not
here,
saying that was correct, but that's why I said I was looking at Maeve or Apprentice Mage, because in that point I would have to decide if I want to pick a card I'm willing to throw away, or a card like Apprentice Mage that will fit in any time-based deck I will possibly play it in as a solid card.
coming to personal
Maeve
preferences.
case. Huh?
Coming to personal preferences, Apprentice Mage is a very good common, but you also said that Combray and Praxis are not two combinations that you want to try out. And I said that Elysian is usually not the best for me, so that would leave Xenon.
Well, actually, funny thing, I actually really like Elysian.
Oh, okay. Maybe you
Which
can teach me Elysian at one point.
but I will say this: it's not a common thing that I fall into.
Okay.
But when I am cornered into it, I usually do well with it.
Okay.
It's not like a 1 out of 5 times that I pick it, but sometimes I do fall into it. I think the keys for that is you need to find a lot of card draw and a certain number of evasive units. It doesn't have to be a lot, but that's one of those late game value grindy decks, not unlike Feln.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that I'm a master, but it is worth having keeping it in your toolbox. It's worth something. It's worth the look if the tools are there.
Okay. So for this one, for me, for example, it would be Chainwhip Bludgeoner.
Yeah, I think there's cards that are more powerful than that, but if we want to stay on the Maeve path, which I think I would, if considering you take Maeve pack 1, pick 1, you probably go with the Bludgeoner.
Okay.
I think that's a fine pickup.
All right. Click.
Leyline Tracer. So here in this pack we have Leyline Tracer, which has a certain amount of conditions to make it strong, and we have our generalist card here would be Arc Official, which will be good. I would say this early we picked the Leyline Tracer. Other notable cards in here. So far we've seen 2 False Demises. That doesn't have anything to do with us, but we have seen 2 False Demises. We've seen 2 Hired Guns. And Steam Blast, if I'm not mistaken, may be our second one as well. I would say that the choice is probably Leyline Tracer,
I
considering
agree.
we're really on this Cambrai
Path.
path for Maeve.
Let's stay with the Cambrai path and trace the lane lines.
Yes. So
No, wskocz tam,
so
wskocz.
if I'm considering the Val in this seat in this because
Yeah.
I mean fixing we need specific influence for Maeve in this in this situation, and we already picked 1-2 drop. Not to say that bludgeoners aren't good if you have multiples and badges or something, but I would say it's probably Val for me here.
Same here. Same
Notably,
here.
notably, blue is still Promo is still open, I mean it's too early to know if it's open, but there's Promo still.
Yeah, Symbol and Ursine, both good. Even Valley Clan Sage has been not the worst from my experience.
Yeah, it's a Feln card, right? I mean, it's just
It's also an Elysian card. It's a revenge card in general. A revenge spell card, obviously. Because if you catch a revenge unit with it, you're just a sad panda. So yeah, I agree with the Cambrai Vow fixing for Maeve, Walker of Eons.
we got an Apprentice Mage.
And we got a
Happy
time
to see
symbol.
that. Time symbol, yeah.
It's also a second Besiege the Throne, and you can probably see that Shadow could be open with Midnight Hunt, but Fire is probably open with Corrosive Dagger.
Yeah, Corrosive Dagger is, when you see that going a little bit later, you can assume that Fire is open.
And Fire being open is more is worth more for you in pack 1 and 4, thus because there are better cards like Corrosive Dagger, like Red Mask Warrior, yeah, Battle Driver. Oh my goodness, no, Battle Driver is just crazy. I mean, Might Weaver.
That's honest. That's some of the funnest stuff you can run into there.
Yeah. Okay.
So, what are you on Time Symbol here? Because I think for me it's Apprentice Mage.
Yeah, Time Symbol if I had a Disappear or 2. But
Makes
if not,
sense.
Apprentice Mage.
And another reason why Apprentice Mage I think is stronger here is, yes, Maeve is going to be amazing, but that's not what's going to be. It's not like we're building a Maeve deck. Maeve is going to fit well into our deck. We're going to have to find chunkier units to make this deck actually have gas. And Apprentice Mage will support many more cards in our deck, where Time Symbol may support anywhere from 1 to 3 cards in our deck.
Yes.
That's my opinion. It would be welcomed if there wasn't an Apprentice Mage, and hopefully we'll find some.
Okay, Apprentice Mage it is. And look, some more 2-drops.
Yeah, 2 drops.
I would pick Clergy if we already had a Siphoner Paladin, but as it stands, I prefer Chainwhip Bludgeoner, even over Besiege the Throne here.
So, Chainwhip Bludgeoner is definitely a stronger card, and the argument for Clergy would be is that we're assuming we're playing a late game, we're playing a hard late game, and there will be games where you have to make sacrifices for power through plunder, sacrificing cards through plunder. So, I mean, this is a close pick for me, but I think maybe having additional plunder could help us actually achieve the game plan we're inevitably going to build.
Okay, so do you pick Clergy or Beseech?
I'm personally not super high on Beseech. I actually just ranted about Beseech in one of my streams recently.
Okay.
So this is how I feel about Beseech, and I know that you really, really like it, and that's something that maybe
not as high, not really, really like it, just like it.
So, I think if you are short on playables or you have some weak cards in your deck, you will absolutely always play a Beseech, because it's never going to be that. It's always going to be okay. It's never going to be that bad. But I don't think you would pick a card that can potentially be good in your deck over a Beseech. That's my opinion on it.
Unless
it will always make your deck, but it won't. It'll be like your 45th card. It'll be like your 44th, 45th card, but it will always make your deck.
Yeah, I mean, I cut a couple of Beseeches in more aggressive decks, that is for sure. Like Skycrag, I believe, in the past. But also, there is one thing about Besiege the Throne that makes it for me just a good card instead of a really, really good card. And that is, okay, let's say you're playing Besiege, you plunder away a power, you play that treasure trove to draw a card. So you're drawing 2, discarding 1.
Mm-hmm.
So that is Rainfall Chord that costs 4 instead of 3, is slow, and you can put it in. Into installments, so to say. And Rainfall Accord for me was a terrible card in draft.
I'm not usually too high on draw 2, discard 1 type of effects, or like draw 3, discard 2, because they just replace themselves. They don't actually generate value.
Yeah, exactly.
But replacement effects aren't as powerful as, they're not exact. It's basically a cantrip, It's not as actually generating value where you want it to be.
Yeah, so I agree with Zelos that the flexibility makes it much better than Rainfall Accord. Yes, and
Sure.
Fast Cookie, there is more flexibility in Plunder. Yes, I mean, that is the Rainfall Accord similarity is something that does come to my mind. It is, in fact, much closer to a Strategize, because I ranted about it several months ago, and about 2 power starting hands in general, where I try to avoid 2 power starting hands as much as possible. And in a constructed deck, I was playing Strategizes, 4 Strategizes. I think it was my Savage Broker deck in Throne or Expedition, don't remember right now. I think it was in Throne. And I remember I was playing Strategizes, not for the card advantage, but for me being able to actually keep 2 power hands if it had 2 power and a Strategize.
I see. I mean, I understand.
Because
I have a slightly skewed.
if you have 2 power and Besiege, you're keeping the hand. Usually.
I see that play pattern in limited a lot. And when I'm on an aggressive deck, I'm so happy when they play Besiege on 2.
Yeah, obviously.
I'll be honest. I mean, obviously, but like so many people were just putting bunches of Besiege in their decks earlier in the format, and aggro decks were just taking advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I was happy to be. So I think that's maybe why my opinion was slanted negatively on it. I came up on it. I would agree that it's like the card, the promo card you just mentioned, the draw 2, put 1 on top of your deck, I believe.
Bottom
very
Strategize.
Similar. Oh, bottom Strategize. Yes. Yeah, it's very similar to that card in that respect.
Okay. Thank you for that discussion. It doesn't change the fact that we still have to pick between Solemn Clergy and Chainwhip Bludgeoner, and this is so close to call, and I have you as the guest star. So right now you're the boss. You decide which one we pick.
I think we should try Clergy, just because, like I said, we need more power. Sometimes we need to enable finding more power over playing other cards. But just to note, Chainwhip Bludgeoner is a stronger card in this situation, but I think I would go with Clergy. Just because I know where this deck inevitably wants to be, and that helps enable the plan more than an aggressive unit.
And that is knowing the meta game.
Yes.
That is just playing a lot of drafts and knowing the meta game. Okay.
Well, we got rewarded here.
Yeah, I think this is an easy pick. With Disappear.
Certainly Disappear.
Okay. And an easy pick with Justice Symbol.
Yeah, very slam dunk. Third higher gun we've seen.
Very slam dunkish.
Total dunk.
Caravan Guard over Batteries Mage.
Oh, yes. I assume we'll find Imbue. I'm all about Caravan Guard.
Ooh, man.
Look at that curtain call.
Yeah, I think I do want that curtain call, like 10 out of 10. If we end up with a petition or 2 and a shadow symbol or 2, we can even splash it.
True. It's an ambitious goal, but you never know. Like I said, you never know where you end up in drafts.
Exactly. Okay, Eager Deputy is just getting put away, and Slag Fury Berserker is getting put away. Okay, speaking of being rewarded, it is not often. It is not that often that I open such good cards in Pack 2.
No, truly. We have to miss an Evangel for my screen's blurry. I don't remember what the name of this card is.
Auric Record Keeper.
Yeah, that's their only pick here. I've been seeing a lot of those today. Are they boosted? There we go. Yeah, this card is so good. Overstated, and it passes you. Wow, we're getting gifted again.
With which one?
Scorpion Wasp.
Yep, exactly.
Wow. Amazing. I'm going Wasp here. only other cards in the pack. There's I believe that Praxis Rare is good, but it's nowhere near where we are.
Mm-hmm.
Rebuke is another one of those cards that I'll play in Justice decks as like my 45th card, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in love with it. It has a home with stun, like in a stun archetype in Huru, but definitely not for us. I think Scorpion Wasp is like the
Mm-hmm.
most we can ask for
Sure.
because I
I
feel
mean,
like finding removal is going to be one of our weaknesses.
mhm.
It's one of the elements we need to check off, and it helps accomplish the boxes that will be here for this archetype.
I mean, I have to agree with the chat that Shattered Glass Mage for me has been always a good card in Praxis, good stat line, warp, and one of really a few sources of killing enemy attachments. As far as Rebuke goes, I am higher on this card than I was a couple of sets ago for sure. Silence and stun a unit can be a very powerful effect, and the deeper we get into a card game, the more the developers have to go with not only base stats but with a lot of abilities. And taking those abilities out from units is really a huge thing that you want and that you need. I mean, let's start with taking Exalted away. So yeah,
Very nice. Yeah, it makes some
silence.
units look embarrassing.
Yeah, exactly. Like 5 costing 2/1, which is Longtail Cavalry, or 4 costing
It's
1/1, which is Auric Official that someone played without surging it. So yeah, makes them really bad. But Scorpion Wasp is obviously the better pick here, because right now we're gonna pick up Rebuke over Deafening
yeah,
Word.
yeah. I've never. That's one of those cards that I read like once a month, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I don't ever pick that card.
And the
It's
rest of this
definitely
pack,
work.
the rest of this pack is a typical curated pack, I would say, which
Yeah.
means bad.
Sometimes you'll play a Gale Prowler.
Yeah, I mean,
Sometimes you'd be happy with a 2-drop.
Gale
Flash
Prowler.
Fire maybe.
Gale Prowler in this format is actually higher for me because playing spells and revenging spells is more common right now, in my opinion.
For sure.
I remember uh, I've been wrecked by a backlash a couple of days ago, where I played a draw a card spell before attacking with my relic weapon.
Oh
That had
no.
1 health.
No.
I mean, I won that game, but it was still
Yeah.
like,
I got blown out
what?
by a counter spell today too, to be
Uh,
honest.
yeah, I mean, I remember from time to time I like to play a negate here or there just for some funky plays, but yeah, this is not the one. This is not it.
Yes,
And
sir. We
cool. Yes.
we have Fencing Master, which we have one Rebuke. I'm not saying it would be an all-star in our deck, but it's a consideration. And there was another card in this pack here. But what else was in the pack, Caleb? There's Metal,
Ardent,
right?
Convert, and Metal.
So Ardent Convert is pretty weak, but if you get um my card names are I'm kind of tired, so my card names are very bad right now. But
Siphoner
Hunting
Paladin.
Allosaur, well, Cypher Paladin, yes, but I like to combo the Convert with Hunting Allosaur. Have you done that yet?
No, not yet, but it's a cool combo.
It's obviously they're at a different spectrum of the game, but it works.
Yeah.
It works. Now, I'm not saying that's the pick here, but if we had like two Hunting Allosaurs, I would be more interested in that.
I mean,
Fencing Master probably.
Fencing Master says when an enemy unit becomes stunned, you don't have to stun it. The opponent has to imbue something.
Certainly, yeah. It has
So it just
it
shuts
has a
off
certain
imbue.
factor of like shutting off some of their cards, which is
So
cute.
for me, it's 10 out of 10, the pick. Oh my goodness.
Gotta learn Herbalist, right?
Yeah, I mean, Friendly Wisp is really difficult to pull off. It's more likely in Praxis, honestly.
Yeah, with like
And
cards like Centaur, like that Centaur right there. Like that's a prime example of a Praxis card that you may play. It
yeah,
could be
exactly.
pretty easy to activate in that archetype, not in this one. A lot of our powerful units, like just like Hunting Allosaur, like I was hoping to find talking about, it's only a 4 cost and at 7. So I mean, that's definitely a Praxis card. It's not something that I play, but I
If
always look over that card. But it could work.
if Hunting Allosaur was a 5/4, it would change so many things. Sauropod Wranglers would just go way up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Reducing the
learned
cost.
but it's learned herbalist 10 out of 10. Yeah, like, talk
there
about
we
Wrangler.
go.
How high are you on Timekeeper?
No, not high, but I play it sometimes.
I mean, we have 4 2-drops already, and we're not even halfway through the draft. Do we go for Precision Plunge? Is there a world where we go for Precision Plunge?
So what are we assuming we find if we play a precision plunge?
Friendly
We
question.
probably we could find
Lumen
Brightlings,
defense.
but ideally we're not playing Brightlings.
Yeah.
A good
Changey
card to
sticks.
Changey Six. The Revenging 1/1 flyer. For,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
that's a great combo with precision plunge.
Mm-hmm. I think I
So
would
we don't.
hedge plunge here over picking up another 2-drop or a Timekeeper.
Yeah, sure. I'm not excited about Timekeeper, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not really. We don't need a 2-drop that probably won't do anything in our deck.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's a 0-drop.
Yeah, I like that card.
Okay. That's a good tempo card, and it makes our future time symbols much better.
It also makes Orc official. Let's say you have the influence, you can play it on 4 with the imbue, which is super nice.
Oh, yeah.
And late game, there's times where you can just squeeze it. It's just super nice with squeezing it in an imbue a little bit earlier.
Yeah, this is a great tempo play usually. Detain if we're lacking tricks.
It's either detain or gain 2 life for free.
I think detain
I kind of like. You like detain?
Yeah, if we lack tricks, 1 detain is still. I mean, I would rather play 1 detain than a 21st or a 22nd unit.
That's true. Yeah, let's grab the detain. I do like having free value in my lands, but
yeah, obviously,
it's the flexibility in the pool of the extra cards is nice because every now and then you want to play like a lower value card like that.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I do like detain when I'm playing a unit or a deck like Rakano with Overwhelm.
Mm-hmm.
Like things like detain do so much more when you have Overwhelm
Sure.
units, and they try to like, you can just juke people really easily. Here we don't get anything.
Yeah, just a Shockwave. Shockwave is actually a market card if you find Fearless Crescendo in Pack 3.
Okay. Oh yeah. You're right. It is. Fearless Crescendo. That's the one that gives Marcus for 3.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I like the 6/4. We're not going to be playing it, but just as a side,
yeah, exactly.
It does pretty good for me.
Exactly. Here is a small removal in Talon of Nostrix. Amethyst Waystone is the Waystone that I don't want to play. And I'm very happy if opponent triggers it.
I'm 100% on the same in agreement there. I actually like Talon a lot. I think Talon does you a lot of favors. Huh.
Fencing Master number 2 or Rebuke number 2? I mean, Fencing Master is better than Treasury Guard for sure. Splashing for Majestic Skies, probably not.
Not with what we have. Would be underwhelming. It's not worth hurting the mana base when we're trying to cast, or the power base, influence base when we're trying to cast Maeve.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be just another Fencing Master for me because I don't usually want to play Rebuke, even though it does have a place. But playing 2 though, what the heck? Come on, there's another Fencing Master. What's the first card?
The first card? You don't know Lurking Raptors? Oh my goodness, this is an amazing card. This stops your opponent from attacking you with relic weapons.
That's true. Jeez, I'm not picking that card probably.
Okay. I believe this is Seed of Progress, so that on turn 3 we can play Auric Records Keeper and Sand Warrior.
I agree. I like fixing here.
We have a lot of 3-drops and a lot of 2-drops, so yeah, I'd rather go for Seed than another Fencing Master or a Sand Warrior. Helps Maeve, sure. Oh my goodness. That's a lot of card text. Right, Kitty? Right.
Are you leaning Earth Conjuring?
I'm leaning Seek Power.
Oh, Seek Power.
Yes.
Seek
Power, Learned Herbalist, and 1 Sigil, and we can splash any future changey sticks.
Very, very true. Yeah, Seek Power is a good pick.
Also,
actually, I like Earth Conjuring. Not that I think it's the pick here, but just for the fact of rolling, like you add that probability of rolling Gerdolf's Burden to your deck. Like that's every time I see that, I'm like, well, that could be Gerdolf's Burden like 1 out of 8 times.
Oh my goodness. High roll. High roll!
It happens. You got to play to it sometimes. Wow, how many fencing masters is too many?
3.
Yeah.
It's seek power over turn back time, I think.
Thanks. I'm looking at the turn back time.
With another seek, I mean, each seek here is reducing our power by 1.
True.
So it's actually picking up a power card that is fixing, like a depleted sigil, which can be any sigil.
True. If we had more like high value targets besides Maeve, I would definitely be on turn back time. So for things like turn back time, if you have like really bomby cards, turn back time goes way up because in some games it just acts as a second copy of that game or that card.
Fun fact, which I learned from playing ranked: if you turn back time from beyond that is in your void, somehow, for example, you splashed Shadow and you played it, and then you play the influence requirement and transmute it into Maeve, Maeve is no longer void bound.
Huh. That's
An interesting fact by Professor Calebovitsch.
Right. Yeah, we're learning here today. I wouldn't expect that.
Okay. I still think it's seek power. There is a world where we could theoretically splash for Curtain Call. Probably not here, but there is a world. It's called Earth 49.
I like it. Let's go for it. So this is a theory I usually follow, and that is playing your cards is sweet. I like playing my cards, and those seek power lets me play my cards.
Yeah, playing cards in card games is OP.
Yeah, it is OP. That's sometimes in my decision making. I'm like, this card helps me play my cards. Okay, I'm picking that one.
Yeah, I mean, we already have a Combrai Vows and a Seed of Progress and a double Seek Power and Learned Herbalist, so we shouldn't have any problems with splashing for Majestic Skies, potentially.
I love it. I love Majestic Skies. Oh my gosh, that could be 3 Majestic Skies with nothing to use it with, but still.
Ooh.
Hellmaker. Hellmaker, yeah, that's like a hell yeah. We have so much ramp. Wait a second before you pick the Learned Herbalist. We don't need a second Talon or anything. Would we ever need a second Talon?
No, we don't.
We have, how much ramp do we have? So we're falling for the common pitfall of Combray right now.
Yeah, a lot of ramp and no top end.
Exactly. So I mean, it's definitely okay. So it's definitely Learned Herbalist. You're never on a second Talon. We're in desperate need to find something expensive to put on the board. Like we need something big.
We're gonna get an Omen Scar. Don't worry, we're gonna get an Omen Scar pack 4 pick 2. Okay.
All right.
All right.
I believe.
All right. And I think I would pick up Sanguine Sword still.
Okay.
And an Envelope.
Yeah, maybe.
And a Sanguine Sword. And a Sauropod Wrangler. Okay. Now, once again, we don't have much. Silvercrest Purifier, in my opinion, is only playable if you have stuff that procs your Surge on attack. Like, if you put a Badge of Honor on him, he is actually good, but that's a 2-card combo. Otherwise, just sucks. I think I would go for a Caravan Guard.
Always Caravan Guard. Earlier today, I did put a Mantle of Justice on a Purifier, though, and I can't say pretty good. Mm-hmm. Not that that's the pick, because I think it's a weak card. Caravan Guard is just like one of the format all-stars.
Mm-hmm.
We're picking it here like 99 times out of 100.
Right now, I would like to ask someone in the chat, to do a drum roll, because after I click on Caravan Guard, we need to see an Omen Scarworm, because I promised. Drum roll, please.
Is he from the future?
Drum roll. Please help me, Chaz.
Chaz.
Thank you.
Chaz.
I think I saw another draft, maybe.
Yeah. So the only card really for us here
is Murky Tentaclices. Oh wait, Bring to Justice. It's Silence and Stun, and we have 2 Fencing Masters.
Oh yeah. Okay, I was tunnel vision on the
Sand Tornado.
Yes, definitely, but definitely the Bring to Justice. Do we have any symbols? we have any justice symbols? I don't think we picked any, did we?
Justice symbol, we have one.
Oh, we do. Oh, that's a slam dunk then. I think, yeah, the bring justice is a slam dunk.
Greenstone officer.
So this, yeah, Greenstone officer, but let's just sit here for just a second. This goes back to something we were talking about at the beginning of this draft, where I was telling you, for example, sometimes I'll pick a more flexible card over a more powerful card.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, like earlier today, I picked pick one caravan guard over officer,
Mm-hmm.
just because while I know how powerful officer is, I may end up not playing that. Whereas I would play officer guard in almost like any deck that has justice.
Mm-hmm.
So while I'm not saying that was maybe the correct thing to do in that moment, I felt like picking a flexible card over picking a more strict card.
Mm-hmm.
But here, definitely officer. This is just
Hello,
like a
officer.
perfect example for what we're talking about. I love this officer.
Mm-hmm. Battery mage.
Yeah, we were so far away from needing a 2-drop. We get more power here with nothing to do.
Do we splash blue?
I don't know. What do we have to make it work? Do we have anything that would actually other benefit us other than that card? We do need something to end the game with. But it's kind of a stretch considering we need triple
Learned
primal.
herbalist, trailmaker, seek power.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could splash curtain call, but we also could go all the way and splash Bryn and a cloud snake hatchling
Oh,
and double majestic skies.
the Majestics. So the thing is, we don't have too many things to even work with Majestic Skies.
I know.
They can tutor up a wisp. We don't have any tornadoes to go with them, unless we take this one. I think that even though it would be nice to have a powerful card from within, I think that's just too much of a reach for me. I mean, you're more ambitious with splashing cards than I am.
Okay, tell you what.
I've seen that from your drafts, but
Okay, I'll tell you this another way. What is our other choice? Sand Tornado or Forget? Would you pick Forget?
Negative.
Okay, would you pick Sand Tornado?
Probably, but I think we should pick the from within because I'm probably not playing the Sand Tornado.
Exactly. Look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 drops.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 drops. We need more expensive cards. we have a 6-drop here in Maeve, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not saying we're gonna play Bryn, but we still have 7 cards, and we might find, I don't know, a Cloud Snake Mount or something like that. And Cloud Snake Mount with Precision Plunge is something I look forward to.
Oh, it's very nice. I've done that recently.
And if we pick up just one Cloud Snake Mount, we can play all the Majestic Skies that we want because those just fetch that card for us.
For sure. Yeah, let's go with the from within. It would be more. Maybe we'll find a symbol or something. Oh, another from within.
This is the next pack, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. This is the next pack.
I'm rubbing my eyes right now. What?
Now, who's ambitious here? Please, chat, raise a hand. Who is ambitious?
All right. Well, so are we
Tyler,
doing it?
are you
We're doing
raising your hand?
My hand is in the air, friend.
Okay. All right. So now we can pick up a Valiant Leap.
Yeah, I mean, it's either Valiant Leap or Battery Mage. I guess we could play the Valiant Leap. If we're going that deep on Primal, what are we leaping, though? We're leaping our Leyline Tracer? We're leaping our...
It's a trick. We don't have any tricks. We don't have almost any removal. We have 1 Rebuke, 1 Bring to Justice, 1 Disappear, 1 Detain.
You're right. We have no tricks. I'm sold on Valiant Leap.
Oh, sorry. We have 1 Scorpion Wasp.
Yeah. But that's like, I'm going to kill your guy kind of thing. It's like pretty much Death Strike. Yeah, Valiant Leap. Maybe we can fit it in.
Broadsword.
We need the sword.
Broadsword is another good pickup.
So, if we're playing Skies, do we take the second sword or the Brightling? We're playing 2 Skies.
It's Broadsword. We're not playing Skies right now.
Okay. Yeah, run the sword.
What is it doing this late?
Guess no one's Rakano. People don't like that archetype, apparently. Probably why I get the cards for it.
Boulder Gate Guard or Brightling? I think I would go with Brightling just because we don't have many flyers. It doesn't need to end up in the deck, but it's an option at least.
Yeah. I like Brightling with so in Elysian, I like Brightling with Majestic Skies.
Well, obviously.
It's horrible as a 1/3, but it's very powerful as a 2/4. Pillage. That's a good card. What is Pillage doing here? That's like a pack one, pick one. Yeah, okay. So I would probably I mean, we'll look at our cards, but or I'm sure that I would rather splash one red card than probably some like one Pillage than something else if it was my seat with the fixing we have. Our problem is we're gonna have a hard time figuring out how to end the game.
We have a double Bryn and a Mave. I remember a deck where I had 3 Maves. Chat, do you remember? I literally had 3 Maves in my draft deck, and it went horrible.
Oh man, it sounds amazing.
Yeah, but it didn't live up to its name and its potential. Okay, let's make it a 5-color deck. What do you say, Tyler? Let's make it a 5-color deck. Okay, here you can see it's a 5-color deck because we're running a shadow card, 2 fire cards, and a blue card.
It's the rainbow draft.
It is a 5-color deck, yes, but Sanguine Swords and Majestic Skies go out.
Envelope can go.
And Envelope can go, yeah, probably. Precision Plunge can go. It's not going to do anything with Scorpion Wasp or Brightling. And we're at 17 plus 3 units. We are at 30 power. We need to get rid of 1 or 2 cards. I think we might need to get rid of Sauropod Wrangler, as it doesn't do much.
No actives.
Because with those 16 units, we still have 3 6-drops here, and this is our top end.
And it's so ambitious to put this triple primal splash in the deck with no symbols.
Okay, tell you what. Triple primal splash. How about we make it really crazy today? for just one low price of finishing the donation goal, it's just $20, guys. I will put Pillage in this deck, and I will put 1 Fire Sigil in this deck, because if we cannot get 3 blue, we can still get a couple of From Withins and just play it as fire tricks.
That's true. So let's look at the power base to see how realistic it is.
Oh my goodness, he's going for it. He's going for it.
So I honestly think it would be better to just play From Withins as a trick than it would be to actually go for anything blue, anything primal in this deck. I don't think I would ever try to splash. I don't think I would want to ever play triple primal, triple time, triple justice. It seems like almost like a troll.
It is. Oh, my dear friend, it is.
Oh my gosh.
Let's tank this #1 master spot.
Yeah, I'm sorry I've done this to you, my friend. This is not good.
You know, I can still resign the draft, but I'm not going to.
So, but
that's not what I'm not getting paid for.
This is exactly what I struggle with Cambrai. This is why I try to steer away from it, because look, we have many very good cards, but we didn't find all the components. And that's what you're banking on. Like, often I draft all the good cards I'm offered, and I believe this was our open lane. Cambrai was our open lane, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
But we just weren't given all the components. So we were in the right seat, but were we in the right seat? It might have been better to force in our seat. We couldn't have known, but it may have been stronger to force another archetype. Because yes,
let's go back in time and let's get that pack 4 pick to Omen Scarworm this time.
You're right. All right. So what is your cuts here?
Merisiel, maybe you could cut some cards for me. She's looking at me. No, she's just rubbing my hand. No, sorry, eating it right now.
I believe she's looking at the screen, not knowing what to do, just like I feel.
She's looking at me like I'm crazy, and she's right. Okay, so let's take pillage out. Au. Nie, to już za dużo, kocie, to już za dużo. Okie doke. What craziness do we have here? We have 29 cards, so theoretically...
Power base looks good, dude. Run it. Oh my.
One or the other. I mean, theoretically, we have more justice cards, but you like how they only added 2 primal sigils. I think we need slightly more time. I also think I want to put in another power card here.
Yeah. If you'd be this greedy to add the primal, then we need to have more sources. We almost
one fencing master goes.
Because we have quad time, we have triple justice, we have triple primal. Well,
yes, we
oh my
do.
gosh.
Yes, we do. Are you ready for a train wreck?
I mean, is there any other option? Is there anything we're not playing? How do we actually realistically ever get triple primal? I don't think I would ever go for this. I really genuinely think, I mean, for entertainment purposes, by all means, you should go for this. But I think it would
for
be
entertainment purposes.
I genuinely, honestly think it would be better to cut the primal, add some fire sigils, and play the pillage. I think you were better off to cut the leap, play the pillage, and just say From Within's a combat trick. Cut the detain. If I was in this situation, that's what I would honestly do. I would cut the Valiant Leap and the Primal, and I would do Fire and use these as combat tricks and try to somehow win an aggressive game. Because I don't think this is happening. I feel like if I walk into this, I would be mana screwed. That's my genuine opinion. But if you think, I mean, we need the top end to win. If you think this is what you want to go for it.
You know what? I'm just considering one thing: whether I want to play Sand Warrior or the second Fencing Master, and I think Sand Warrior has to go for the second Fencing Master.
Yeah, agree.
And I think we are not in a bad position, not as bad of a position as you might think, at least.
Okay. I believe it, man. You try ambitious mana bases. I remember, I don't know how long ago it was, but you splashed like a Siege Train in a deck that didn't have fire, and I think it worked.
I think I was splashing it off of a fire symbol, Imprison, and...
like a petition or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I was impressed that it worked.
I mean, come on. This is the only format where it is possible for you to splash double pip cards. That's what I learned from Gunner.
Yeah, I learned as well. The double pip. This isn't this, but we're not double pipping here. We're in an ambitious triple pip here.
We're triple, quadruple pipping here. Okay, I think this is 17 power, double seek power, double learned herbalist, trailmaker, entertainment purposes only. So, draft for entertainment purpose.
I can only expect that. I had some not so good games today, so I can only expect this is how this develops.
All right. Thank you very much, Tyler, for helping me with this train wreck. I will promptly drive it into a mountain.
Hey, good luck piloting. I hope it goes well. I'll definitely be lurking around in the chat. I gotta make some food as soon as I get out of here. But I'll be watching the games. I'm excited to see that if you cast one of the From Withins for its flipped version, I'll be very impressed.
Then prepare to be very impressed. I have 3 games to do so.
All right, man. Hey, good night. Thank you.
Thanks for joining in. And remember, guys, if you want to catch Tyler Chaney, aka JohnAvon, in a game, you can usually catch him when? When are you streaming?
I have 3 days, so I don't work. I'm off from work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to fill the daytime slot for limited. So my goal is 2 p.m. till 6 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Um, but I often start a little bit early, and then the only other times would be random at nights. But often I am Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 2 to 6
2 to
limited.
6, and that is what time zone?
Uh, East Coast US, so 2 to 6 p.m. East Coast US,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're lucky, you'll catch me as the Calebovitsch waiting room after work at night.
Okay. Thank you once again, and have a great day.
Good
Or
night, man.
night.
Thank you.